What is up, YouTube? We got some pretty interesting stories for you today. So we have the return of 4chan. So we're going to talk about the 4chan leaks of Pokemon Legends ZA. We also have some updates on Overwatch 2 Stadium. You know, so some feedback. You know, so they got some feedback. They're talking to us. A new life-size Pokemon plushie is coming out. We also have a bunch of Marvel Rivals drama. So, you know, so we got that, plus some anime news, and a whole lot more on today's episode. So let's get into it because it's the end of the week. What is up, YouTube? My name is Mario, aka the Loot Box Hero. Check out the second channel, because the second channel is popping, aka the Real Super Mario, aka YouTube's greatest fat man here, bringing you another video. Alright, so we have another video for you today, but let's get on into it. So, we have, starting off with the Pokemon news, we have Hidden Power Podcast that said the Pokemon Company will be releasing Pokecology, a new book that explains Pokemon from the ecology and the ethology perspective. The book will have new artwork as well. It releases on June 18th in Japan. So basically, I feel like this is kind of like Hyrule Historia for Pokemon fans. All right, if you remember Hyrule Historia, it was like this big art book, but it had a bunch of information and just like behind the scenes stuff, and like there was lore in it for the Zelda world, and it's actually a pretty interesting book for Zelda fans. I feel like that's what this is gonna be for Pokemon. And the thing is, this also feels like something that would just come out in Japan and it would never come to America, which would be kind of sad. Hopefully we get an American release of this, because it seems pretty cool, especially if we get new official art of the Pokemon. Like, that would be pretty cool. Alright, that would be pretty cool. So moving on with Pokemon news, they have announced yet another expansion for TCG Pocket. So I feel like this is like, bro, how many expansions have we had of this game, bro? Like, I feel like they're releasing one a month or something. But so the next one is the next set for Pokemon TCG Pocket has been revealed to be Celestial Guardians. It releases on April 30th, 2025, and is themed around Alola. So probably going to be trash, because we all know on this channel, we all know Generation 7 was trash. All right, I'm just going to be honest to you. All right, I'm going to be honest with you. But some of these cards look kind of crazy, though. Like, some of them will definitely flip the meta. All right, they got the Soul Galeo, you know what I'm saying, with Rising Road. Once per turn, if this Pokemon is on your bench, you may switch it with your active Pokemon. So basically, this Pokemon can just come in when it wants to without having to worry about the retreat costs of the other Pokemon, which is kind of crazy, especially since this sucker has a 2 energy 120 damage attack, which, bruh, like, Steel Deck's about to be kind of crazy, bruh. Alright, I didn't see many Steel Decks for a while. They about to get real crazy now. You know what I'm saying? Then of course Lunala has has Psychic Connection. So once during your turn, you may move all energy from one of your bench Pokemon to your active Pokemon, which, God, as if we needed more things that move around psychic energy. So basically, this thing is going to be in, like, Mewtwo decks. You know, the only good thing about this is that, thank God, these are not basics. Alright? Because I'm so tired of EX basic Pokemon. You know what I'm saying? EX Pikachu, EX Mewtwo's, like, these aren't basics. They're stage 2s. So, at least that's pretty good. But the other one is Rare Candy. Alright, it's one of your basic Pokemon in play. If you have a stage 2 card in your hand that evolves from that Pokemon, that card, put that card onto the basic Pokemon to evolve it. Skipping the stage 1, you can't use this card during your first turn or on a basic Pokemon that was put into play this turn. So there's restrictions to it, but basically if you have Charmander out there and you've got Charizard in your hand and Charmeleon is nowhere to be found and you got a rare candy and that man's been out there for a turn, smack that man with the rare candy Charizard instantaneously. All right. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Of course, I just said that, Lunala and Solgaleo are stage 2s, but I mean, this kind of makes that irrelevant. But the fact is, this is going to change the game. This is going to change the game. All right, I can see some Dragonite decks coming back. The original Dragonite from Pokemon TCG Pocket, not the Draco Meteor one, the other one, coming back, because now you don't have to wait for Dragonair and do all this other kind of stuff. You can just go straight to Dragonite. You know what I'm saying? I can see a whole bunch of other cards getting relevance because rare candy is a thing. So that's going to be crazy. So moving on, we have a different type of Pokemon story. So it says, Evolutions can now lounge with you, as Eevee in all 8 Evolutions will be getting plushies. Alright, and so these are going to be life-size plushies. And you know what this means, right? This means they're making a life-size Vaporeon.
What? Oh, hell no! That's hell no!
Bro, they know what they're doing. All right, of course they made all the evolutions, but we know the real reason why they're doing this is for the life-size Vaporeon. All right, there is a freak deep person out there in the Pokemon licensing team that is licensing specific Pokemon to become these life-size plushies. All right, there's a freak deep person out there. All right, because first it was Grandivore. Now it's Vaporeon. What next? Lucario. Baneri. I mean, not Baneri. The evolution of Baneri. You know what I'm saying? Nah, cuz they doing this on purpose. Following on from other life-size Pokemon being released recently, such as Grandivore, the Eevee family are up next, and the merchandise photos couldn't be more adorable. About the size of a large dog, these plushies are absolutely massive, with the exception of Eevee itself, of course, which is considerably smaller than its evolutions. The detail and quality of these plushies is extremely high, matching the reports of previous life-size Pokemon plushies. Vaporeon, Jolteon, Flareon, and Eevee are already for sale starting on April 25th, and orders will be taken through May 19th. Umbreon and Espeon will go on sale in May, while Glaceon and Leafeon and Sylveon will debut in June for the original trio, and Eevee fans will make a purchase of 44,000 yen, which is about $308. Eevee is a mere $27 US. So for $44 you can buy yourself a life-size Vaporeon plushie and yes, if you do buy it, you will be judged. Okay, I will judge you profusely. Alright, so we move on to a different story. So we have the return of 4chan. So 4chan is back up after there was a massive hack. There was some kind of memer civil war on 4chan, and they got hacked, and IP addresses and all kind of stuff was taken, and the mods was on the run. It was crazy. All right, I mean, I could probably do an entire video on what happened to 4chan, but 4chan seems to be back. All right, and it's the perfect time because we know that Nintendo is going after the Terra Leaker, and he threatens to leak everything if Nintendo comes for him. So 4chan came back at the right time. So to celebrate 4chan's return, we have a 4chan text dump. So it says Pokemon Abyss and Pokemon Ether. So the Alas region, based in Greece and Turkey. Abyss legendary is Poseidon, water ground. Ether legendary is Zeus, a flying electric type. Starters are a grass dog, which is a European theme, a fire cobra, which is a Middle East theme, and a water hippopotamus, which is an Africa theme. honestly, the starters sound kind of fire. Like, you know, no pun intended. The water hippopotamus probably gonna be my go-to. All right, because hippos are cool. A water hippopotamus, I can see it being like a water ground type, or maybe even a water dark type, since hippos are like, you know, hella violent. So I think that will be pretty good. That will be pretty good. The fire cobra is interesting. I kind of think maybe that, you know, maybe it'll be like a Komodo dragon type of thing, you know, but it's a fire type. Even though we already kind of have something like that, and of course the grass dog, everybody's gonna love that. It's gonna be adorable. And then diving returns with lantern evolution. I think most water Pokemon should just be able to dive. Running with a normal fighting horse, sky riding with a Pegasus, surfing with a seahorse, water steel type. So, I mean, are you saying that these Pokemon themselves are going to be like the ride Pokemon? So we're not going to be able to just do this with our random water flying type Pokemon. So, I mean, ride Pokemon are fine. I think that they should make a way for me to use the water Pokemon in my team to be able to surf, not having to get a specific one, you know. Climbing with a Kiri goat. It's going to be normal rock. What's a Kiri goat?
A few moments later.
Okay, so it's a Mediterranean goat. All right. So underwater city at the deepest point of the sea, and a sky island at the highest point of Olympus. So that's actually pretty cool. I think I said this before when they were talking about diving coming back, that they should totally do something akin to Tears of the Kingdom, where, you know, kind of like how Tears of the Kingdom had the underground, just make like a big underwater area. You know what I'm saying? That would be pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? A big explorable underwater area. Story is peak for a Pokemon game. No details on that. Poke Sports returns, and it's very fun. Returns for vacation. Old characters like Cynthia and Steven. Only champions have an official competitive scene. Megas return from ZA. Okay, this right here is where they kind of jumped the shark. I don't really see Megas coming back in Generation 10, especially with Pokemon Champions. There's no need to bring back the old gimmicks, because if you want to play with the old gimmicks, you can just play Champions, you know, if they do that. So some Pokemon have hypercross breeding. One theme is between Tauros and Machoke into a new species, a Minotaur. Pokefusion. It's not exactly Pokefusion, but it's kind of like Pokefusion. A hyper breeding to make new species of Pokemon is interesting, but I don't think it would happen, mainly because how would you illustrate that new Pokemon? Like, what would they would have to make character models for thousands of type of breeding, millions of type of breeding combinations, and they wouldn't do that. So I don't know if that's gonna work. So the launch is gonna be November 21st of 2026. So yeah, 4chan leaks are back, baby. Tell me what you think about that one. I think it's fake. It sounds cool, but there is definitely some stuff in there that is not gonna happen at all.
My name is Yumiko, and I've been bad.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
That sounds fun.
She's insane.
Who are these niggas?
I cried laughing when I read it.
You know what I'm saying?
My parents.
They went to St. Dominic's.
One of these people murdered them. And I'm gonna find out who.
That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
All right, speaking of things that I would not like more of, we have Bet. So Netflix is making a Kakaguri live action adaptation. We know how people hate anime live adaptations. Personally, I kind of like them. but this is looking like booty cheeks in the worst way possible. Okay, like so far I haven't seen it, but I've seen the trailer, and boy, it just looked like Dookie Butter, booty butt cheeks garbage. Like the main character is not just a psychotic gambler. She is kind of crazy, but she's on like this path of revenge, and I can understand why they would want to change that, because they want her to be the hero. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of hard to root for a psychopath, but it just doesn't come across good. It seems kind of bad and cheap, but hey, I'll give it a chance though. But so far, bruh, this is not looking good, man. After doing good with anime live adaptations, they bring out this. Not to mention there is also several black people in this too. So we got the race swapping in here too. So it is what it is. All right, so we move on to the Switch 2. So Switch 2 is looking crazy right now. So Bloomberg says that Switch 2 pre-orders estimated to be 6.6 million globally, and it is estimated that Nintendo will produce 6 to 8 million Switches by June 5th. For reference, the biggest selling console launches ever are PS4 and PS5, tied at 4.5 million. Switch 2 is looking to smash those records. So what happened to all those people who was like, oh my goodness, this is gonna be a Wii U level disaster. Oh, Nintendo made it so confusing to switch between Switch and Switch 2. Oh, you know, I said the price, people are gonna buy it because it's too expensive. Guess what? All of that meant nothing. All right, they're just about to sell gangbusters, cuz they're just about to be the most highest selling system at launch in the history of consoles. Bruh, this shows you that the internet stuff ain't real, bruh. All right, but speaking of what is real is this leak of the Switch 2. So apparently somebody has gotten their hands on a stolen Switch 2 straight from the factory, and they put a video out on Bilibili. So yeah, all right, we all know what's gonna happen to that person. All right, they're gonna get disappeared. They're gonna get disappeared. All right, like Nintendo about to be own this person, bro. But this is kind of bound to happen. Like this has happened a lot. I remember the first PS4 Slim leak was like somebody had got like the shell from the factory in the Philippines or whatever. So this kind of stuff happens. But I mean, we already kind of know what the system looked like from other leaks anyway. But the fact that there is an actual console out there in the wild is crazy. And it looks like they're trying to turn it on, but there probably needs to be some sort of like update or something. Like it's probably some kind of day one thing that puts all of the software and stuff on there. But this is just a system without most of the things you need on the system. So that's what it looks like. So, man, that's crazy though. The fact that there's a system out there in the wild already, woo, boy, we in the season, bro. We are in the season. So with Overwatch, they have the stadium feedback. So, they've been listening to a lot of the complaints about Stadium. I'm gonna make a full video on Stadium tomorrow. But Stadium seems to be pretty fun. From what I played, it's fun. Everything is OP and kind of busted. The powers are kind of overwhelming because there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of options for you to make all these builds, and it's a little overwhelming at the start. But they said they've been listening to the feedback. So they said Stadium launched yesterday. We've gotten a lot of feedback and a bit of data already. Here's a quick response on what we have seen and heard. These are the top 3 issues: lack of cross-play support, high lever rate, performance on older systems. Let's break this down. So the performance on older systems thing, I can attest to because I have a PS4. I play it on console, and boy, that jet look kind of dookie butter. I ain't even gonna lie. Like the frame rate, like trying to, boy, I'll just say it does have some performance issues. I had no problems on PC though. PC, it plays like butter, but PS4, bro, I can imagine what this thing plays like on the Switch. I can imagine, bro. As far as the lever rate, I think I've played like maybe 15 games of Stadium at the time of this recording, and I've only had like 2 levers. But it does suck though because there's no backfill. So when somebody leaves, you just kind of screwed. You know what I'm saying? So cross-play support, yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess that's an issue. All right, so we get to my favorite segment of the program. What's wrong with Marvel Rivals? So, because there's always something wrong with Marvel Rivals. This time is more of a drama situation than it is. Well, it partially is actually some real, like, in-game stuff that's wrong with Marvel Rivals. But it's also kind of a drama situation. So, if you don't know, Necros, he is a big-time Genji player that did the same thing that all the big Overwatch streamers did. They went over to Marvel Rivals as soon as it came out. So he was a big Genji player, probably one of the best Genji players, swapped over to Marvel Rivals, and of course he became a Spider-Man player because Spider-Man is just Marvel Rivals equivalent to Genji, essentially. And we all know how you play Genji-like characters. You basically are a dive DPS, and you go after squishies and healers. So you're going after snipers, you're going after healers, supports, stuff like that. That's what you do. And that's basically what he does. You know what I'm saying? Every time I'm playing support or if I'm playing Widow, there's always some stupid Spider-Man, Black Panther, freaking Magic, you know what I'm saying, in the back line harassing me. And next thing you know, some chud's like, there's no heals, GG, no heals. I'm like, GG no heals, nigga. GG no freaking peel. That's what it is. Peel for me, okay? Somebody turn around while the Black Panther's back here destroying us, all right? Well, it is what it is. But essentially, that's what's happening. So then he kind of spazzes out on supports.
This is why I hate support players, guys. I hate support players because they are literally allergic to good takes. They're just morons. They're idiots, and I hate them. I hate them. They never have any good takes. It's exactly what ruined Overwatch. Why is Overwatch shit? Because it's just dominated by supports. It's because Blizzard caved in and listened to fucking Redditors. The entire game boils down to who has the better support play. If your backline is stupid, you lose.
Now, he's not exactly wrong about this, right? Because, I mean, I play support in Marvel Rivals, and it's not exactly hard. It's not like the hardest thing in the world. But it's not the easiest thing in the world either. It's also because you have to play like support, right? You can't just heal bot. You have to heal, and you also have to lay down damage. So it's not just like brain dead easy. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, you're just gonna lose. But this also kind of reminds me of like what DPS players typically do in these hero shooters, where they just kind of get mad at all the other roles. Like I remember back when they were like, oh, the tanks are the reason that Overwatch are bad because the tanks are too powerful. Oh, I can't 1v1 a tank and win as a DPS. Remember that? And, oh, you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of the Metro clip.
I'm playing up.
Yeah.
They're looking at me now.
I dare you.
I'm gonna pull them
It is
together.
so ridiculous that he can do that, right? Be an absolute shitter.
See, if the Sojourn commits, right, he dies because it's fair. If the Kiri commits, she can just get out after missing everything. That was the perfect example. These last 20 seconds showed everything that's wrong in Overwatch.
Bro tries to 1v2 a Kiriko and a Sojourn, all right, you know, and loses 7 miles away from his team, and then gets mad and says that, oh, the game is broken. Insane, bro. Craziness. But yeah, so then of course all the support players get mad, and so now the supports, or the strategists as they call them, are on strike. They're on strike in a video game. People playing a video game are going on strike. All right, and here's the thing that kind of gets me. I understand that y'all are mad that, you know, he's talking about y'all and he's talking crap on y'all role, even though he is partially the reason why y'all role sucks, because it's his job to hunt y'all. But at the same time, okay, y'all are going on strike in a video game. Bro, how long have the tank players of Overwatch been getting dumped upon? Alright, have been getting pissed on by all the other roles for whatever reason? Alright, you know, oh, tanks are too strong. Oh, tanks keep complaining. Oh, we never went on strike. We just kind of played on through it. Bro, do you remember season 9 of Overwatch 2? Alright, season 9 of Overwatch 2 was like Christmas for everybody else but the tanks. Okay, everybody else got something. Alright, the DPS pissed and moaned about how they couldn't kill tanks. So season 9 came around. Guess what? They reworked all of the hitboxes, right? They reworked all the hitboxes, so they made hitboxes bigger, so it's easier for them to hit targets. You know what I'm saying? They gave them their own passive, the DPS passive, which is still a thing, by the way. You don't get tank passive in 6v6, but your daggone sure well get DPS passive. You know what I'm saying? They did all this for the DPS. All right, so that, you know, they can fight the tanks easier. They even brought 6v6 back, so this way they can nerf the tanks so they can fight tanks easier, because the tanks were too powerful. We didn't complain. You know what I'm saying? Well, we complained, but we didn't go on strike. You know what I'm saying? All right, everybody else, we was the red-headed stepchild of the Overwatch community. Okay, everybody else was getting stuff but the tanks. Did not complain, didn't go on strike, I should say. We did complain. But yet, these guys are going to complain at the drop of a hat. Bruh, Marvel Rivals community is freaking Charmin ultra soft, bruh. It's not just a drama situation, but it's also like an ELO situation. So, apparently, because I haven't played Marvel Rivals since Season 2, apparently in Season 2, there's a new ELO system that is performance-based. I know you might think that's a good idea, because, oh, well, the people who do better should get more ELO points, right? But that doesn't really work, because it goes off of the scoreboard, right? So, like, how many people you kill or how much damage you get. And if you play at a hero shooter for any amount of time, you know the scoreboard is not exactly accurate as to what's happening in the game. Like, for instance, I as a tank player can get, like, you know, maybe less than 20 kills in a game. But that doesn't mean that I'm doing bad. That just means that I'm tanking. I'm mitigating damage. You know what I'm saying? I'm blocking damage instead of inflicting the damage, because the DPS is inflicting the damage. I'm just doing my job to give them space to do that. So I don't necessarily have to kill people, right? You know what I'm saying? I should, because of course that's part of the game, but that's not primarily my job. My job is to make space so that other people can kill people. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, the scoreboard is not exactly going to reflect that, because there's no way that the scoreboard can reflect how much space I've taken. The only thing they can say is like, oh, well, he mitigated a bunch of damage. You know what I'm saying? So, if you're getting performance-based ELO, then, you know, you might actually be doing good, and maybe even be doing more for the team than what the person is with 35 kills, but you're not going to get nearly as many points because you didn't get 35 kills. So it makes the whole game seem very casual, very like team deathmatch. Like, it's more about getting kills than it is about strategically trying to get and hold the objective, which is what hero shooters are about. Which is why Marvel Rivals is all in all a casual game. It's like the Fortnite of hero shooters, essentially. But you know, I mean, you don't have to take it from me. They made it that way, okay? When they did this update, all right. So essentially, in this update, it screws over the tank players and the support players because really their roles aren't about killing people. So if they're not getting as many kills as the DPS, they'll never get as much elo as the DPS because they're never doing as much performance as the DPS. All right. So essentially, you can play support, and even though you healed a bunch and you saved people's lives and you had 6 support ults, y'all still lost. Y'all still got washed because guess what? You know, you weren't able to get as much kills as the freaking Spider-Man was. So I can see why supports are legitimately angry. But yeah, man, tell me what you think about the support strike, man. You think that people striking in a video game is a real thing? Is this or is this just some crazy drama coming from a kind of Charmin baby soft community? Tell me what you think in the comments down below. Like, comment, subscribe, and as always, people, keep it real.